Hello, and welcome back one more time. Today here I am adding a little bit more to my plaster mask, trying to make it look a little bit more like my design, which is half lion and half sort of robot. And what I'm doing is I'm cutting some pieces out of cardboard, using that as sort of a base, and I will build that up and add some more of my plaster wraps right onto that. So for the nose of the lion, I put a little cardboard piece in there as well as the ear, and that's going to be the base that I lay the plaster wraps on top of. On the robot side, I've got a little tube, like a little paper towel roll, and I'm gluing all of this on using hot glue. It's probably the easiest because it dries so quickly, but other glues or tape will work as well. It may be a little more labor intensive, but it'll absolutely work. So sticking those cardboard elements onto my plaster mask that I made on my face, and once I've got all that how I like it, I will start to lay on those plaster strips again. So all these elements that are sticking out from the face, built them up using some cardboard cut into the right shapes. And here for the lion's cheek, I balled up some paper towel and I taped that right in there where it needs to go to give me a little bit more mass underneath the nose, above the mouth. And since I've got all that in place, I will start to add my plaster wraps. So I've got them cut into manageable sized pieces. And just like last time, I dip them into the water. Uh, when I take it out of the water, I try to sheet off all the excess liquid. Uh, the less water that you keep on the wraps, the quicker they'll dry. And where I built up that cardboard ear, my lion ear, you can see I wrapped that with the plaster, and I'm smoothing it down, getting rid of a little bit of that gauze texture. And I'm going to do that to the entire face here. So just a matter of carefully laying the plaster wraps where they need to go. I'm going to get rid of all of that cardboard, the exposed cardboard, and as well as the paper and tape. So I'll be left with a nice solid layer of plaster, sort of hopefully looking like a half lion. Yeah, so no matter what shape your mask is taking, you should be able to build up any auxiliary forms that you need, anything that's coming out from that initial face shape, um, using cardboard and paper. And then once you've got basically the skeleton of your form. It's just a matter of covering everything with those plaster wraps so that it looks like it's one solid unified piece. And some places, like you can see right now, they get a little bit tricky. It's all about finding a nice way for those wraps to lay over the cardboard forms that you've built up. So you might find that sometimes a little bit thinner strip of the plaster wrap works best, and sometimes a little bit thicker one. And again, you can really get a smooth finish on your mask depending how much you smooth down that wet plaster. You can sort of get rid of that gauze texture and make it absolutely perfectly smooth. Or if you like that gauze texture, you can leave it as is and sort of show the process that you went through making your work. So when I initially built my mask, I have holes for the eyes and the nose and the mouth, and I covered up one of those eye holes with the cardboard, and I'm just going to plaster right over that. So one of the eyes will be obscured. One of those eye holes I'm going to leave so that I can see through it. Again, that's a stylistic choice, whatever you feel like is going to work best for your mask. And then my open mouth shape down there, I'm going to cover that right up. So it's just going to be one solid piece as my mask and no hole for the mouth. And the plaster wraps are really good about adhering to the form. So whatever form you build up, you should have a pretty easy time of shaping your plaster and wrapping it around that. Whether it's very curved or there's a lot of angles, you should still be able to get that to stick pretty easily. And once I got that all completely wrapped up, I'll put it somewhere safe, put my mask somewhere safe so that it can dry and won't get smashed while it's still in the process of drying. And it shouldn't take more than about 20 minutes to dry, and you'll feel that um, it'll get hard like plaster, and it'll still feel a little bit cold and damp. You'll know it's not 100% there yet, but when it feels hard and dry, that's when it's all the way done. Should be solid and pretty sturdy.